What is up, guys? It's Huckleberry, and today I'm showing you a video from Overflow, and this is the M27. And what I wanted to show you guys today is what I'm trying to do, and it's not easy, is I'm trying to get the nuclear killer by getting 30 kills without dying. And they have to be, I think, all gun kills and attachment, or not attachment. I think you can get equipment kills, but it's really hard. I get really close in this gameplay. I get to like 28 and then I die. I get like flashbanged by somebody, but I was like the closest I've ever been to getting it. But I just wanted to put this video up there and let you guys know that I was trying to get it, and I hope to soon achieve it. I think I'm going to have to just dedicate to running the UAV counter VSAT, because when you run the other Scorestreaks, you don't really give yourself much of a chance. Because what happens is you get the Scorestreaks, and you get up there, and you know, let's say you run dogs and swarm, you may only get 50 kills in a kill confirm game, and you're going to get like 25 kills from those Scorestreaks, so you won't get to your 30. And I've had that happen before. I'm like, man, I really thought I would have had 30 gun kills, but you gotta just like be a ninja and really just not die. And you really don't have like more than one chance. I mean, you can die early in the game, but you have to really rack it up. And fortunately, these guys weren't too good, and I thought I would have had it. Unfortunately, the game was going slow enough that I could give myself a chance. And what'll happen sometimes is I'll get into a party and I'll be playing with guys that are really good, and they will just dominate, and the game will end really soon, and then I won't get to my, I won't even get to 30 kills, let alone whether they're score streaks or not. So you have to be in that type of a game where your team's gonna be decent enough that you're not gonna get spawn trapped and you're not gonna get pounced on, but where you're not totally annihilating the opponent. And it also helps, obviously, having those VSATs up, cycling them, and if getting a friend maybe to run it with you and provide some support. So, wish I had one to show you. I also want to do the free-for-all, because if you guys haven't heard, I think I've heard there's two different emblems. There's a nuclear killer, which is what I'm referring to, the 30 gun kills while you're playing in any game mode. And then there's the nuked out title, which is a flawless 30-0 free-for-all. I think you can die in a free-for-all match. It has to be like your first death, or I mean, you technically could go 0-5, but you have to get 30 kills in a row without dying, and obviously free-for-all ends at 30 kills, so you cannot afford to die. I actually think that one's harder because there's those limitations. So I'm going to try to do this one first, and then try to go into a free-for-all and just camp my ass off until I get it. And that was a nice feat right there. Yeah, this is where I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty good here. I might cycle these again, and I'm using the MSMC, and it's like really steady. Sometimes you get into those matches where you're like, man, I'm either the host or something's working for me. I'm like right on target, and you're not really worried about missing a guy, and you're just kind of in the zone. So right there, 14-0, and then I just kind of get another couple kills here, taking out the equipment. I love taking out equipment and having like black hats and stuff. Finding that the Bettys, they kind of suck. Like if you have engineer on, or if you have tactical on your controller, or if you just have really fast and you hear a little noise, or you can see the dot. I mean, there's so many ways to avoid Bettys. The only way that it can hurt you is if the guy's smart enough to put down a shock charge with a Betty, and you're not running an engineer, and then it freezes you, and then sometimes you're not able to duck or go prone, and that can make it so. I mean, if you're going to run Bettys, you should run shock charges, because the Bettys by themselves, to people running engineer, I mean, they're just going to walk right over them, and they're going to get points. You're going to feed the opponent team a lot of points by running the equipment. So a lot of my classes now, I don't even run equipment. I'll do it for tactical reasons, certain matches, but I focus mainly on my gun. I like to run primary gunfighter a lot. I like to run, 2 perks. Usually it's the 3rd slot or the 1st slot. I'll run, hardline lightweight, or dexterity extreme conditioning, or dexterity engineer. and I won't run equipment that much. But I'll tell you that I really like the EMP grenades. Those are ridiculously overpowered. The EMP grenades are freaking awesome. If you haven't used an EMP grenade yet, you really don't know what you're missing. There's another VSAT. And these little betties, man, that's 50 points. Plus the fact that I'm running hardline, it's 60 points. And I got the VSAT up, so every kill with hardline is like 22 for the assists. And God, I mean, if you have black hats, or if you can just take out equipment, like look how much equipment they're throwing down. It's crazy. You can just rack up the points. So yeah, the EMP grenades, they're like so much fun. Because they operate a little bit like concussion grenades, but they work through walls. I mean, I could throw an EMP grenade right now, and all three of those guys, they would have all been like temporarily blinded for like 2 or 3 seconds. And then, not to mention the fact that if there's any equipment in the area, even if I didn't have an engineer on, I'm going to destroy the equipment, and I'm going to get the points for it, just as if I had done a black hat. Right there was 3 pieces of equipment. An EMP grenade would have taken out all 3, and I would have gotten the points for all of them. So it's even better than running black hat. I mean, when I get into a lobby, guys that are running EMP grenades, they piss me off. I get so freaking irritated. Like, I was raging off of EMP grenades because I would put up VSATs and they throw an EMP grenade in my way. Like, that's smart as hell that they did that. But I'm really pissed about it. So what happens when you get pissed about something that someone's doing? You run it yourself, because they put it into the game, and if people are gonna piss you off, then you should run that shit too. This is where I fucking die. I can't believe I die when I can't see. That's when I die, is when I can't see anything. Every other time, I didn't die. But now, of course, I go on a death streak, I think, and I finish 40-8. So I'm 28-1, and I go 12-7 here on the last part of the game. I just wanted this game to end, because I had such a good kill-death ratio going into that kill. So yeah, I'm going to try to get the nuclear killer and post that. I just have to dedicate myself to running these Scorestreaks and get into some good lobbies. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about, I'm going to do a video on claymores and betties, and I have a try-hard gameplay on hijacked that I want to show you guys. Just if you want to be like a bitch and run the best gun and have the camp your ass off, basically. This is the class for you, and I'll do a video on that. I also want to do videos on using claymores versus betties, and just to preface that a little bit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do like in-depth analysis, like let's put a claymore down and see what happens when I run over it. Is this a good spot for a claymore? But more along the lines of let's talk about strategies. When you're playing a certain way, which one might work better than others. I think there are maps where betties are better than claymores, and vice versa. Or you'd say, you know what? Like, for example, on slums, claymores are freaking awesome on that map. There's so many like doorways and like tight areas where like the claymore just covers that doorway perfectly. Like this room right here on overflow, claymores are really good on this map because of the tight spaces. Now, don't run claymores on carrier. It's like useless. I mean, you cannot. I've tried to like place claymores on carrier in the right place. It's stupid. They don't work. So don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. Betties are much better on that map. So definitely there are map considerations. Also, depending on the type of weapon you're using, if you have an LMG and you're gonna be kind of settled down nestled into a little area, putting up your tent and roasting your marshmallows, run claymores, because you got the time to put down a claymore. You can position it. If you're gonna rush and you want to block off an entrance, throw a Betty, because if you're gonna be moving around, that's why I use Betties more than claymores sometimes, just because I'm rushing. I don't have time to position a claymore in just the right spot. Now, if I had the choice, if you told me I could only run claymores or Betties in a game, I would run claymores. And the reason for that is I believe the percentage is higher when you're running claymores. So that means you're going to get more kills when you place them down. And I will show you guys some examples that, I think you can avoid Betties. You cannot avoid claymores. Obviously with engineer, it doesn't matter. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hope you have a good day. Talk to you later.